Okay, we've all been there, right? Staring down a massive task, armed with, well, pretty much nothing but good intentions. That feeling, that's procrastination. And today, we're gonna figure out how to finally win this battle for good.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. You've got a huge project due, and suddenly, nothing on earth seems more critical than watching a cat play a tiny piano. If that sounds familiar, you are in very good company. I mean, in just 1 year, cat videos racked up almost 26 billion views, and a huge driver for that, you guessed it, was procrastination. And it turns out this is not just a you problem, it's an us problem. One researcher, Pierce Steele, found that a whopping 95% of us admit to procrastinating. So let's just get this straight. This is not some personal failing. It is a core part of being human. The real question isn't if we do it, it's why, and what we can finally do about it. To really untangle this knot, we can't just use one approach. We need to look at this thing from three really powerful angles: psychology, neuroscience, and habit formation. And you'll see, by looking at it through these three different lenses, the solution starts to become surprisingly clear. So let's start with our first lens, psychology. This is all about getting to the root of the emotional reasons we put things off. Because, spoiler alert, it is almost never about being lazy. It's about our feelings.
So, what is going on under the hood? Well, sometimes, sure, a task is just plain boring. Or maybe your to-do list feels like it's a mile long. But a lot of the time, it's actually rooted in something deeper, like a fear of failure or just plain old anxiety. It can even be linked to things like ADHD or depression. And here's the big takeaway. This means procrastination isn't really a time management issue. It's an emotional regulation issue.
And the solution is, well, it's completely the opposite of what you'd think. What's our first instinct when we procrastinate? We beat ourselves up, right? Ugh, I'm so lazy. But get this. Research shows that the exact opposite is what works. Forgiving yourself for procrastinating actually breaks the cycle. It dials down all those negative feelings that were driving the procrastination in the first place, which makes you less likely to do it again next time. Crazy, right?
Okay, now let's switch to our second lens, and you'll see how this builds on the first. We're going from our feelings to the actual chemistry happening inside our brains. And for this, we're going to lean on the work of neuroscientist Dr. Andrew Huberman.
You know that feeling when you're just stuck on the couch, totally unmotivated? That's what you could call a dopamine trough. But here's the fascinating secret the science reveals. The shape of that trough is what determines how fast you can climb back out.
Just look at the difference here. On the left, when you just sit there and wait for motivation to strike, you're stuck in this long, shallow ditch. You stay unmotivated for a really long time. But check out the right side. If you can force a sharp, deep dip, your brain actually rebounds back to its normal motivation level way, way faster.
So how on earth do you create that sharp dip? You have to do something even more uncomfortable than the thing you're avoiding. Dr. Huberman's advice is to do something safe that, and I'm quoting here, really sucks. Think about a 30-second blast of cold water in the shower. It's a total shock to your system, right? But that shock forces a rapid brain reset. It steepens that trough and basically slingshots your motivation right back to where it needs to be. And that brings us perfectly to our third and final lens, habit. Because at the end of the day, procrastination isn't who you are, it's just something you do. And as author Mel Robbins says, that means it's a habit. And habits can be broken.
I mean, how powerful is this idea? Stop telling yourself, I am a procrastinator. That's an identity, and it feels permanent. Instead, just recognize that you have a habit of procrastinating. A habit is just a pattern, and patterns can be changed. This simple little language switch immediately gives you all your power back.
See, all habits follow this exact same loop. For procrastination, the trigger is always some kind of stress. Could be money stress, relationship stress, or just the stress of the task itself. The pattern, of course, is to avoid it. And the reward? That tiny, fleeting little moment of relief. The only way to win is to interrupt that pattern. And here is exactly how you do it. First, just acknowledge the feeling. Oh, okay, I must be feeling stressed. Then you interrupt that avoidance pattern by counting backward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This isn't just a gimmick. It actually shifts control from your emotional brain to your prefrontal cortex, the thinking part of your brain. And as soon as you hit 1, you physically move and start the task, but just for 5 minutes.
So why only 5 minutes? Because your real problem isn't doing the work. It's the habit of avoiding the work. And the research is pretty amazing on this. Once you get over that initial hump, 80% of people will just keep going. Getting started is literally the hardest part.
So, we've looked at this through 3 totally different lenses: psychology, neuroscience, and habit. Now let's put it all together into a practical toolkit you can actually use the next time you feel that pull of procrastination.
So here it is, your complete toolkit. If the problem feels psychological, those heavy, negative feelings, the solution is to forgive yourself and break the task down. If the problem feels more neurological, you're just stuck in that low motivation state, the solution is to do something even harder to reset your brain. And if it's a habit, that automatic stress relief loop, the solution is to use the 5-second rule to just get started. 3 different problems, 3 powerful solutions.
So there you have it, a complete toolkit to understand and overcome procrastination from pretty much every angle. The only question left is, the next time you feel that urge to put something off, which one of these amazing tools are you going to pull out first?